Oh, we're live. You guys just caught me just messing around looking at my phone, and because we had a big day. If you follow me on SGPN, we had a huge day. All right. So heck of a cold open. My co-host will be here soon, but you are joining us for Dad's Bet Baseball. I'm Adam Rosenberg. With me, as usual, is CJ Buskey, aka Slippin' Jimmy, but he is not here at the moment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump right into our Hall of Fame Bet segment. Producer Spencer, make it happen. There we go. All right. So we start off with the handy. What I'm going to show you guys right now is how on Hall of Fame Bets, sponsor of the show, you can, if you are watching this, you can see a QR code. Please use that QR code and use code DADS. You get a 7-day free trial. You get 50% off the first month. Incredibly deep analytics. We love this site, and it works really well with handy graphs, which we always use on the show. But again, Hall of Fame Bets, sponsor the pod. We wouldn't recommend them if we didn't actually use them. And we're going to show you immediately how we like to use it for team strikeouts, which is a prop that's on DK. I think it's also on Caesars. Anyway, point is, so how I look for it on here, I go to the starter tab. Let me clear some things out. I'm going to look at tomorrow. Tomorrow, I like to look at some guys, the last 5, and look at someone who has a really good K rate. And what I'm seeing is Jacob Lopez has a pretty good K rate. And then this will automatically show me a team that the team will come up. So I'm just looking around, looking for guys with a really good K rate. Okay, here's a good one. There's Scooball. We can go over here. We can kind of check out how this Houston team has been against lefties. Not so great. Just kind of some things we're checking. Looking again, Minnesota's not been striking out as much. You can kind of find a guy that, has a really high K rate. Then what you're going to do is you go over to Hall of Fame Bets in their leaders tab. This is like such a great market. In their leaders tab, you go to teams, you go to batting, you go to team batting, and you look at team batting strikeouts. These usually the numbers are somewhere between 8.5 and 10.5. And what I want to do is I want to find a team that this wasn't actually there before. I love this brand new feature about if they have a matchup for this kind of thing. They're saying that this Rays and Giants one. Let me just take a quick look. Who is going tomorrow? Oh, it's Pivetta. Okay, great. All right, maybe this is a good one. All right. So anyway, I'm looking at this. This Angels team consistently will K on the farm. We see that. This Rays team has been striking out a lot lately. Let me take a look here. Oh, it's Rodon. Let's see. Yeah, this is I'm sharing this over here. See all this blue? This is going to be a really good matchup. So, okay. I am in Hall of Fame Bets. I'm sharing this tab. I am seeing that the Rays have look who's here.
Hello.
Wow. By the way, your audio sounds incredible. Where are you? You're in your hotel?
That's because honestly, I should just get some sort of deal with Marriott or something just to record these podcasts, because every time that I dial in, that's like in a hotel room, I sound amazing. When I dial
sound really good. You look good too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's the high quality definition here. So are we talking about, are you betting your favorite guy, Rodon? Is that what I walked in on?
First of all, now that you're here, victory lapping, sweeping the SGPN show with the following plays: Cowser 2 Ks, Leiter 3 walks, which was 2-1.
That's crazy for him. Crazy.
And what was my third one? And Yuri Perez, which I won the under 2.5 earned runs, which I won, or 1.5 earned runs, which I won on the most miracle of miracles because he walked everybody and there was sack flies and a wild pitch. So he gave up runs, but only one of them was earned. It was awesome. And then and then we won the show underdog play. The massive sweep. I've been on a heater since Vegas after I bled out for a week.
Do you need me? I don't have to jump. I can just jump off the show if you just.
That's fine. Yeah. If you want me to bring you on as a guest,
talk about how awesome
I'll bring you
some
on
of your
as a
bets
guest
are.
later.
Please.
Anyway,
please go on.
so no, but I was showing everybody that okay, so Hall of Fame Bets. I know you and I play around on different parts of the site. I really play around a lot in the leaderboards because there's a lot of team props in there that I love to play with. Specifically, we're going about Team Ks. The reason why I actually want to go on Team Ks, we could talk about a little bit because I think a little bit later we should talk about what happens. Our future friend of the show, Saris had mentioned this about what happens to batters in September. We'll talk about it after this, but we're targeting the Rays here. We see that the Rays have gone over this number in in just 5 out of 5. Let me just get this. There we go. They've been just K'ing the farm here. I am going to look at then how they have been against lefties. It's been pretty bad. 11. So look, I know what Rodon's form is, but one of the things that I like to do then is then go back to handy graphs and I'll look at the bullpen and I'll take a look at how this Yankees bullpen has been. And as bad as we think this Yankees bullpen has been this last 3 weeks, they still have a 27% K rate, which is and a pretty elite swinging strike rate. So what that means is that even if we think that Rodon's not going to be able to get things for them on the Ks, you saw what that K rate was looking like, and there's no other platform that's going to be able to that gives you the team the team K prop like this and being able to look at it. It's usually player stuff. But what's really great about this is that we feel like the number will probably be, I'm guessing 9.5, 10.5. And I feel extremely comfortable when I'm looking at this of it up to honestly like 11.5, to be totally honest. And what we're able to do is we're able to look at, hey, this matchup's really good because they're really bad against lefties. And even if Rodon leaves, that Yankees bullpen can probably come in and get some Ks, because what we're able to see on this is that it doesn't matter if it's if it's a lefty or not. This team is not striking. This team is not doing well at all. They've just completely lost all their discipline. So that's sort of the big one that I wanted to show on Hall of Fame Bets, just to recap for you. Use handy graphs, find somebody who has a high K rate. For this, we found Rodon. Go to Hall of Fame Bets, go to leaderboard, go to on the leaderboard, go to team batting strikeouts. Again, nobody has this, which is why it's one of the reasons I fell in love with the platform. And frankly, from there, it's kind of trend and match up. And one of the things I didn't even realize that they added on the desktop version, they added on the mobile, but I use the desktop a lot. They have the matchup grade now for the team batting.
That's
prop.
great.
And that's awesome. We didn't have that before.
Matchup grades also too. I mean, we haven't really highlighted that as a feature on Hall of Fame Bets. And I will say for baseball, I don't traditionally use, I don't think you do really either, the matchup grade as much. We get into football season though. That is a really, really great filter and a thing you want to keep a matchup. But I love it. It's just on the table here where you can kind of just see like, just a quick glance, like bad matchup starting pitcher wise. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's everything. Cause we saw it's with the bullpen too. I mean, Giants are going against Pavetta, Astros are going against Scuba. Like these all match up like the right way that they should. I think that this is fantastic. There's some sneaky ones here too, because where are the Twins are going against Jacob Lopez, who probably will still have a low number and has elite case stuff, as we've seen. He actually is a former Ray. And so these Rays pitchers are guys that have really good stuff. So two that I would probably target tomorrow. These are for tomorrow's games. I think we're going to do some fun stuff with the Rays over team strikeouts, and I'm going to look at the Twins over team strikeouts tomorrow. So that's it. All right. Nice. So now I'm going to stop sharing. We'll get to the good stuff. Boom. All right. So CJ, we switched coasts because I was away last week.
I know you were literally just in my shoes, like what, 24 hours ago, and then
less than. I'm still hydrating, as we can see. So
you're back East Coast. I've got a good dad move though for why I'm here on the West Coast, but yeah, I was kind of trying to think through before we bring on Javon to talk about some of the prospects. I've been looking forward, by the way, to having Javon back on the show for weeks, especially since
he was on the show that one time.
Really, since he's on the show last time, but also just the trade deadline. There was a lot of stuff that I'm anxious to kind of ask him about. But so we've covered a lot of different markets on this show. Obviously, we'd like to talk about a future, in terms of like a lot of different of these shows. One that we didn't really talk about that I realized this morning at all is Manager of the Year. And I know that's like it's traditionally not a market that we're like super interested in betting. And last year, I think that we had Thompson and Boone, I believe, as our two guys that we backed.
We had Boone because they were kind of killing it. And like we associated the Cole injury with something big, and we had that there. It obviously didn't ended up coming through. This year we took Ron Washington.
Yes.
Which was fun.
By the way, it was that did have a little bit that had some.
It actually had juice. Yeah.
It had some juice. And then we had the whole scenario we were telling ourselves whenever he went on the leave, we're like, what if the Angels make a playoff spot and he comes back for like the last week? It's like a oh my God, it was a safety from the Bills. Now I'm like, it's like totally
DeMar Hamlin.
It's like a Hamlin kind of thing,
Yeah. Comes back from the dead.
Comes back from the dead.
He still lost comeback player of the year to Joe Flacco.
He did. True. So maybe that actually isn't the best comparison. So I'm pulling up here the odds. Okay, so you have it right in front of you because I'm looking at more of I don't know where's this book even from because I'm in California, by the way. Love that you can't pull up your specific New Jersey-based sports books. So what are you seeing on your side?
So on my side, like spoiler alert, on my side, they're giving it a Pat Murphy, Craig Counsell. Like I think that's over. I think Pat Murphy should actually be minus 2,000 because I give him more credit for a team that plays fundamental and the best record in baseball than I do anything else. So I'm not interested in anything over there. The AL, John Schneider's the leader at minus 250.
Yes, that's what I'm seeing too. Okay, right. Are you seeing 220 for AJ Hinch?
Yes, but Joe Espada is, I think.
I'm glad you brought him up.
I mean, I get it. It's also a poison number. Like I will fully admit that. That at 10-1 next to two short ones, it's meant to be enticing. But this Astros team, won't go away and was supposed to go away 2 years ago, and it was supposed to go away last year. And that team, they got rid of Kyle Tucker, Isak Paredes has a really bad injury.
Very important for them. Like this
very important for them.
We will bring this up again as we get I'm still not necessarily buying their ceiling, and that is a big part of why.
I'm not either.
Also, that had to be one of the worst hamstring injuries
he's going to be. He's like they don't know almost ready for spring training.
That's what I heard. Yeah, that it may be literally going into like middle of next season. So and he was an important player for them. So I'm looking here at some of kind of like their in terms of just like the general, like all their stuff from a batting and pitching side is like pretty good. Pitching wise, starting pitching or at least just general overall. 16.4 WAR for the season. So that's actually second best when you're taking in relief and starting pitching together. And I know we obviously, we like Hunter Brown. We've talked about him on this show.
Yep.
But like, what else was that? If we think about preseason expectations coming in, who else besides Arrighetti that maybe had a little bit of juice that we really even like in that rotation? Because
Framber
too. Okay, Framber.
And Javier was going to come back. I mean, the pitching was never the thing. It was that they had arguably one of the worst outfields known to man because they got rid of Kyle Tucker, and they were moving Altuve to the outfield, which seems bonkers.
So
and
if we go through these, let's just say all things stay as equal. Jays win the division, Tigers win the division, and let's say the Astros win the division.
Yeah.
Is it Schneider by just default? Like, is this the Isaac Collins?
I don't know if it's which I see like Trevor talking. I see Trevor mentioning in there about Isaac Collins. We'll talk about that either on this episode or another one.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, hold on. To defend Trevor, I said when he texted that to me, I said, I'm set because I have all three at the top, and so does CJ. But do you have any Cy Young futures? And he said no. And I said, yeah, then go bet it. It's a good donation. It's fun. He actually is having a way better year than everybody thought, but he's not winning it. But anyway, to your point, though, I don't know if Schneider wins it by default because, like, there's going to be some people who are going to say, well, first of all, this Astros team didn't spend. It actually, like, reduced payroll. Mm-hmm. They got rid of folks. They had, like, they had a weaker division. You had a monument, folks will maybe say, hey, how much of this was Jays winning versus just Yankees losing? A lot of ways around it. I think keep in mind that Toronto has a monster payroll, like they have a top 6 payroll. The Santander, who is not even playing anymore this season, was given a lot of money. They spent
obviously just what, $500 million for Vlad.
Oh yeah, $1 billion for
season.
Vlad. Yeah. So I mean, the Astros didn't do that. They also haven't had Yordan all season. Virtually pretty much all season.
They've had no left-handed help from the batting
side. They've had no left-handed help
all season. Yes.
I think that while, again, we like to point out when something's like a poison number, especially this late in the awards, I think that Joe Espada is still worth playing because I think that there are more than one universes where this gets there. I'm not really interested in playing the Manager of the Year market, like just as a general adding more liability thing. But I do think that that's the horse that I would want. Alex Cora, I see in there. I mean, it's kind of, they're almost like the same thing, except that Red Sox team, I'd rather play their ceiling and ride out whatever it is that they're doing with the addition by subtraction than bet Cora. I don't know. It's funny because these franchises are both linked to the same kind of scandals of like, especially Alex Cora.
I mean, Cora, it's kind of actually incredible. He is this far up in the odds considering
we thought he was going to get fired.
We literally talked after the Devers trade. We're like, okay, so Cora is the next one to go.
Right.
The fact that he is still there is pretty amazing. I guess two things, and then we'll see if we can get Javon in here, which is, one is if the Tigers finish with the best record in the American League, does this just go to Hinch?
Yeah, I do. I think it does.
So I don't necessarily hate maybe a little bit of liability on plus 220 if that's the case, because I still think they have a real chance to have the best record in the American League. I mean, what's their right now from a standings perspective? They are half a game behind the Jays.
So here's my only pushback is that I think that they're still like plus 150 or plus 175 to make the LCS, which if they have a top 2 record, they're getting a bye, which gives them a quicker shot to get there. It's less left up to subjectivity if you take that bet versus the short number on Manager of the Year, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that like they got the almost ceiling. Basically, you are giving up 75 cents. Let's call it plus 150. You're giving up 75 cents.
Yeah, 75 cents
for them to not have to be the best record, but be top 2 and just win one round.
Right. Which
I would rather that. Which would probably be
against the Astros, I think. Unless the Astros, obviously, if they, go out in the wild card round. But yeah,
right.
That's
but I would rather that than the other than rely on people voting for Hinch. I think they want to, don't get me wrong. But I just think that in terms of like what he's going to be rewarded for, it just feels like you're not sacrificing that much value for.
I mean, I definitely agree between the two scenarios and the two numbers.
Yeah.
Inherently, I said plus 225. Really, I mean, I think fair odds probably should be more around like 3 or 4 to 1 for that, because
I agree.
Like you said, they could finish with the best record, but that's not guaranteeing that you win this award. I still think there could be a lot of sentiment to put Schneider, in to give him this award, even if they don't finish with the best record in the American League. And plus 150, probably even actually a little bit of value on that to make the LCS, to be honest, knowing who their likely opponent would be. The only other thing I would just say, and then we'll bring in Javon, is you brought it up. You kind of hit on it. But when we went right to the AL manager, I think Pat Murphy should be bigger than minus 175. I know he's won this award.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
This team came out of, they were 3 games under 500 in the middle of May and have been unbelievable. And as much Brewers shame
they play perfect baseball.
They
don't make errors.
Especially with a league with the Mets, with the Dodgers, and the Phillies. We all know the National League has been such a gauntlet. I'm not saying for people to just go throw minus 175 and pay that kind of juice, but I do think that is he should be shorter than that, or he should be shorter than that.
I agree. It's especially the way that team is, because that team has won by stuff that you would get by coaching.
Yes. Yep. 100%. It's the
So
value of friendship.
yeah. Like lucky for Trevor, everyone in the rookie of the year race died. So Isaac Hollins is going to win by default. But
Good thing we dictate the guests on this show, so he can't just come back on and
he handled
victory
himself
lap.
very, very well. I got comments from people saying that as much fun as it was to hear me eviscerate him without him on there, it was just as much fun to hear him very well articulated
He
defend his
was
position.
It was
great.
good
It was
fantastic. He did
fantastic.
not come on and try and just pull your pants down and brag.
I
So
totally get it. All right. Let's bring in Javon because I got a lot of prospects I want to talk about. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. Javon came here before we talked right before the draft, and a couple of the pieces that Javon had mentioned at the draft had moved. We're past the trade deadline. Javon is extremely knowledgeable. Javon Alford is extremely knowledgeable in a lot of players you probably haven't heard of. You will hear of next year that are playing quarterback in HBCUs, that are playing quarterback in European HBCUs, or playing in Russia. And, this guy knew who Luis Perez was before everyone else did. And the ceiling of Adrian Martinez. So before he did his thing, but shout out, by the way, Bryce Perkins, UFL MVP, back in the NFL. First of all, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. I was supposed to come on last week, but I was knocked out sick. So I'm glad to be sick and glad to be back on with y'all. So, always excited to be.
Yeah, man. Rocking a puppy bowl hat too. So we want to, so out of the gate, got a question for you. All right. So which prospect move surprised you the most at the deadline? Like overall, like who were you most like, wow, I can't believe this guy moved. And I guess, tied to it is did you think anybody kind of overpaid and through the lens of guys that, guys in systems that should be going or shouldn't be going is what do you think about that?
I think the prospects that moved that surprised me are probably starting off with Eduardo Tate going to Minnesota, because I was just like, okay, like if they're, and you like when you saw that in the day of like the rumors that they could be getting Durant, you're like, okay, like Minnesota has to be like going for the top three guys. Like it only makes right. Like they're going after, Painter, it seemed like it seemed like Painter was kind of like the untouchable, but it always seemed like, okay, Crawford, Miller are the options that will be out of the door. Like the Phillies infield is kind of sad. The outfield, the Phillies are just still doing what the Phillies do with the outfield. So it's like one of these two guys will like have to like go. But then you see Tate move, and I think for a lot of people, especially me, it was like, I don't want it. I didn't want him to go because I'm just like,
I got excited about him when you came on. Like I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah, it's like he's 18 years old. Like his ceiling is like through the roof for like offensively as a catcher. And I'm thinking, okay, like JT Realmuto, eventually his time is going to be up. They need somebody to step in. It ain't going to be Marshawn. Like no disrespect. So it's like he's the next guy. So to see him move, that was shocking. I mean, obviously Abel, I think we all like kind of thought Abel was going to move at the deadline. Yeah. I know you were saying that, Berg, for like
he was part of my rumored deal of the Phillies Halsey, doing
right?
Was that the Tyler? Was he part of the Tyler O'Neill trade?
The Tyler O'Neill Cedric Mullins deal.
Yes,
yeah, which someone said Cedric Mullins isn't getting traded, and he absolutely got traded. And and Ranger would have just anyway. So yeah, no, Tate going because you had me excited about Tate, and I guess so. But do you think that in the scheme of that one, and this doesn't even have to be through the Phillies, that they overpaid for it?
For the Phillies, no. I think if you're the Phillies, I think the fact that you were able to keep your big three, I thought that was a win. Like the fact that you were able to keep Painter, even though Painter probably won't come up this year, the fact that you have Painter, you still kept Crawford, who should be up, like don't matter, he should be up, and you still kept Miller, who's struggling. I think that was the win, and you give up a guy with that's still 18s, but he's he's showing that he has upside, but you don't know as he goes through your system and gets older. To only give up Tate and then only able to at the same time, I think that's like a win. Like for the Phillies, I think Phillies fans take that all day, unless you were like pro ship Crawford out of here, ship Painter out of here. Like, let's go all in. Forget going for young guys. Let's go all in and put your chips on the table. So I
think with Duran, I mean, obviously he's paid dividends already. Coming and bringing him in as a stabilizing presence in the
his
pen.
intro alone pays dividends,
right.
man. Like it's the best intro in sports right now.
I think honestly that trade, the Phillies won that trade just from the amount of people talking about the intro and how much that incensed me as a Mets fan, saying how great. I was like, come on, like seriously, guys, like we already forgot about the Edwin Diaz intro, and then I'm like, oh, he's not getting called on to games anymore because
you have two guys that have intros on your team. You can't have two players in your bullpen with intros.
The only thing I was going to say though, Javon, and then I want to ask some more prospect related questions, but since we're on that Phillies trade real quick, I mean, Duran, I would assume Dombrowski will go to try and extend him this offseason and try and re-sign him. You've got Alvarado.
He's signed. He's under control.
I think isn't Duran's contract though through? Is it? 27. Oh, it's our. Okay, so they'll keep him. All right. So my bad. I thought for some reason that he. So you've got. I guess my other point there would be, you've got Duran and you also have Alvarado as a setup guy. Not a bad position to be in if you're the Phillies heading into next season as well. So as much as you like Tate, I feel like as a Phillies fan, you have to be at least excited on the prospect of, look, our bullpen now is solidified for potentially the next 2 to 3 years.
Oh yeah, easily. I think the fact that you got a bona fide closer, it makes Rob Thompson's job like 10 times easier, and Kaza takes that like bullpen closer by committee stuff like out of his hands. Like, no, Rob, this is your guy. Like this is your guy. Your ninth inning guy. Whatever you want to do, 7, 8, mix and match. Like you said, you'll get Alvarado back, I think, tomorrow, but obviously he won't pitch in the postseason, but you'll have him next year, hopefully. And then Kirker for another year. You hope he continues to, pitch well. Tanner Banks, too. I think, he's definitely going to be a weapon for this team, next season, because the way he's pitched, from the left side is good. Strom is Strom, and, Romano is probably out of here at the end of the season. So.
Taking the money that we bet him on for saves leader with him, by the way.
I think about that every time he has a blow up, and I'm just like,
I think about it too.
I remember in the off season it was Romano saves 30-1, and then
I get sick pleasure out of it anymore because I just laugh. I'm like, you know what? This is a comedy routine for me. Just watching this, it's like it's not like I spent that much money on it. So
last 10 appearances, he has no inherited base runners have moved in 9 out of the last 10. I think he's in his better role now. But so, Javon, I want to ask a question though about another team that just did a lot of stuff with their moves was the A's, and they ended up getting rid of Mason Miller, and the Padres gave up DeVries, who I think we all consider top 3 prospect in the majors. What did you think when that happened? Like Scott Reichel came on and it was just like, this is a very odd move to me, just across the board. What was your kind of take on that? You have Mason Miller, who everybody talks about, who is actually on a down year, and then, I mean, did the Padres overpay? Like, is there anything that you kind of had a takeaway on that, or was it didn't really even move the needle, you think, for the Padres at all?
For the Padres, I guess it kind of moved the needle because you're taking a chance on like you said, a guy in Miller who was so good, and then just like you just said, just went like downhill really fast this year, but you're playing on the upside of, look at his velocity, look at the fastball. Like if he can like hone that in, like maybe we have something there in the back end of the bullpen, with Suarez. But when I saw the trade happen, I'm just like, okay, one of these top prospects has to go out of San Diego. And you're thinking, is it going to be Salas, who they've been like really like holding on for like their life since they, took him as like a 16-year-old international, prospect? Like, is it going to be him, or like you said, it's going to be DeVries? And the fact that if you're the A's, you get DeVries, I think it works perfectly for like just what you're building in the window you're building. Like you've seen a lot of growth from your young guys already. Like Tyler Soderstrom, looks like he's going to be the real. Kurtz. Yeah, Kurtz is a first round guy, like first round, like 2024. I think the same class as Chase Burns. So you got him, Jacob Wilson. He probably will be rookie of the year.
He was going to have 200 hits until he hurt his wrist.
Right. So you got him, you still got Lawrence Butler in the outfield. You have Rooker as kind of that vet. You got, Bangaliers at catcher. Like everything's kind of like there for them. And then you add a guy in DeVries who just was promoted to AA. this week, and apparently he's going to be I think they said he's going to be the youngest player in AA this season at 18 years old. So he's 18 years old at AA, and what he did at high A this season, 249 with 10 home runs and 58 RBIs. Like, that's pretty good for an 18-year-old. So the fact that he's going to be in
he's
AA,
already the A's top prospect in their system from getting him. I mean, we said it on the trade deadline show, so I don't want to hash too much of what we said there, but it just didn't make sense to me giving up that level of a prospect for a team that their bullpen was fine. Like, and one of actually the better.
Their bullpen was pretty good.
I believe by WAR, they were either first or second in the league, or they were first by a significant margin. Yep. So, I think what you just brought up, Javon, that was what I was more curious about with, is it DeVries or DeVries? I've been saying DeVries the whole time, but
I go DeVries. I say like fries, Reese.
With DeVries, though, I guess the only thing I could say defending Preller there was the hype unjustified. Obviously, we see a lot of prospects that get a lot of hype and then end up flaming out. Sounds like, though, from everything you're saying and the fact that, he's 18 years old and already in AA and putting up the numbers he is, that I think that hype is probably justified. So I think a lot of pressure on Preller to like make good on Miller basically being a starter at some point or otherwise. I don't think that this necessarily equals out in terms of value going in and coming out.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we know the Padres they are like the Rams, and like how the Rams were like, just F them like picks. Like Preller is like F prospects at this point. Like James Wood, Mackenzie Gore, like, sure, we'll give them away. And then all of a sudden look at what they're doing now in Washington. So it's like, that could have been your core, and like, you don't have it, but you're going all in. So I think, it's going to be interesting to see how it kind of plays out, like you said, from Miller. And we can't forget about JP Sears, who was thrown in. And
Yankees prospect again on the move, that kind of thing. I like JP Sears. I forgot that he was on that team. God, I totally forgot about that.
So guys going in and coming out. Another thing that we're getting to see a lot of, and I'm seeing this, by the way, on Handigraphs, because I'm just seeing new names come up in the rows each day for the batters. I'm like, what? How do I not have stats on this guy? And I'm like, oh, wait. Okay. Yeah,
a lot of undefined on Handigraphs.
A lot of undefined or NAs, which is, it's supposed to be that way. But, you've got like, Dylan Beavers, you've got Samuel Basallo that just got caught up for the O's, for example. Anybody that out of some of these trades that you're kind of keying in on as, all right, I'm really interested to see what this guy's going to do in the next couple of months that we're able to get an opportunity created for them.
In terms of trades, I'm interested in these two guys, particularly one that's playing well and one that's kind of fell off. James Tibbs, who's been traded twice this year, like he's 2024 first round pick. He was traded in the Devers trade from San Fran to Boston, and then Boston shipped him, to LA in the Dustin May deal. So the fact that I'm interested to see how he does in his, continued growth. He's 22. He's a power lefty, not really athletic, but he grades out with a 55 power and a 55 arm. He's kind of moved up a lot this season. He started at high A, then he was at AA, and now he's at AA Tulsa in the Dodgers system. And right now he's hitting 319 with 2 home runs, 11 RBIs with a 952 OPS. I don't think he'll be up this year, but again, the Dodgers just stockpile prospects, and before you know it,
unbelievable, unbelievable that they're able to do this shit all the time.
All the time.
That's to get another point on the Dodgers stuff. Dodgers, oldest team in the league this year, kind of showing it in how cluster injuries are happening. One of the prospects who I've been very into over the last year, who got hurt right away. I thought he was going to save my fantasy playoffs last year. River Ryan, who obviously tore at Tommy John. A lot of those guys ended up with Tommy John, who's out for all this year. He will be there next year. Like, that Dodgers team is going to have to get younger next year with a lot of guys, which, by the way, side note, not a prospect, but I love the Alex Call move for them. Another young guy they got in there. But that's the thing. The folks that you're naming on that Dodgers team for next year, the baby Dodgers that are about to come up are extremely intriguing to me for next year. As much as I'm not a big Dodgers guy.
I know Adam's already putting in his Bobby Miller Cy Young. I'm waiting for a text.
Every year it's a default bet. Every year, man. Every year. He's going to pitch out of the bullpen. He's going to probably close for them in the playoffs. So we'll see. But I mean, so like, yeah, Javon, who are a couple other like September call ups, and also more than that, actually I'm not trying to even gaslight Trevor by doing this, but what do you think about Isaac Collins is probably going to win Rookie of the Year because of what I'm calling default. But do you have any thoughts on that Rookie of the Year race? Is there somebody who, like, all things being equal, if everybody had played, who was kind of your horse in the NL Rookie of the Year race? Is there any thoughts that you had on that?
Okay. I'm going to get the Rookie of the Year. September call-up guys that I'm looking at, obviously, Basallo, obviously, to see what he does.
Yeah, I like Basallo.
Because we're now at the point, and I saw a writer from Baseball America tweet this out the other day, where he tweeted out on Friday that we're at the 45-day mark at the time in the MLB season. So any player, called up for first time, they can't exceed that 45-day mark. So as long as these rookies that come up now don't exceed 130 at-bats or 50 inning pitch, they're going to be in that Rookie of the Year conversation. So a guy like Basallo, we're getting that kind of like early look at him to see like maybe he might be that guy. The Mets, obviously, with Nolan McLean, with
great call out, by the way, on that market, and something to like put a pin in that when you're starting to look at Rookie of the Year markets next year.
I just realized Chase Burns isn't going to have 50 innings pitched this year.
There's another guy. So this Rookie of the Year race could be very interesting. And McLean, I'm very interested to see what he does. And I used the stat for his cap that y'all, pointed out, which was the I think it was like
swing strikes.
Right? Yeah. And he had a ton. And I was like, this is like perfect. So
that's how you know that a guy is the dude. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So I looked at, I'm thinking him. Justin Crawford obviously is on my list for September. I'm just like, you got to bring him up. Like, he's doing with almost what Basallo was doing in AAA Norfolk, where it's like, all right, man, this guy's doing everything you ask him to do. Like, you got to eventually call him the one. I feel that way for Crawford. Harry Ford,
Mariners. Yeah.
Mariners fans, if you've ever, I remember one night seeing them talk about
Mitch Garver. Power, man. That guy is like, he's got like a 65 grade raw power. Like, that dude can mash.
Yeah, and he's only 22, and we saw him a few years ago in the World Baseball Classic with Great Britain, tearing it up. So I'm interested in him. Bubba Chandler, but he's kind of fell off a little bit. And keep a name on this guy too, that he's been fast tracked by the Blue Jays. And I know the Blue Jays already have a ton of pitching, but this guy, I think his name is Trey Yevisavage. He's been fast tracked and went through pretty much throughout the entire system. He's already at AAA, and he's only first round pick. And this is he's only did 20 games this year, 82 innings pitched. I think his last game in AA, they had him do some bullpen stuff. He got rocked out in his first AAA start. Sure. But this is a guy that the Blue Jays think that he could be an option in the bullpen if necessary. He's been fast tracked throughout this entire season.
Right, I'm looking at him right now. I mean, the Jays team's like all in.
Yeah.
So they're probably like hoping to get something out of it. I mean, because the Jays have their three lead pitchers have pitched 75% of their starters' innings. And like, you don't want that when it's like Gausman and Bassett. These are veterans. Like, Bassett already is looking like he's kind of doing whatever. I could see this being a guy that they try to like work in so they can at least trust him on a bullpen game in the playoffs.
Yeah, or piggyback kind of with a Lauer situation.
Yeah.
I've thought about that one too. I'm just scanning down here, just through the undefineds that I'm seeing on the Matters table. The only one I saw that I didn't have anything on today was Acosta for the Marlins. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Max Acosta. Yeah. Nah, nothing on him. I thought he got called up the other day, and it was just like, I like reading MLB trade rumors because it'll be like, this guy got called up and he'll eventually make his debut. We don't know, but when he gets into a game, like, it's one of those type of things. So yeah, so I
usually get a little nervous when I see the main headline being "It's a dream for blank." I'm like, okay, well, that usually doesn't mean that this is a highly touted prospect or somebody's been paying a lot of attention, because we probably see a lot of other different headlines.
Yeah, we'll probably see a bunch of guys because I think rosters expand on September 1st to like 28. So we'll probably see a couple more, guys trickle in, hopefully the bigger name guys that we talked about, especially the Harry Fords and the Crawfords, definitely want to see what they can do on the major league level, because then, they're potentially going to be in the Rookie of the Year conversation, next year.
You think Painter, by the way, definitely does not get called up?
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't think so. If he was pitching a little bit better, then I think
He
they probably
struggled
would.
since he
Like,
got to AAA.
yeah,
Yeah.
AAA has been kind of a hard knock life for him, and usually people play prospects like that. Like you would think, like AAA, like you should just mow these guys over because there's a bunch of quad A guys, like
Yeah.
4A dudes that like been in the majors, but they're like 32, 33 years old, still playing minor league baseball. Like the Jake Caves of the world, like
Oh yeah.
those guys. Cave is actually playing in Korea, I think, by the way. So like those type of guys, he's kind of like struggle with. It's weird. His struggle is almost like how Bubba Chandler was. Like there was a lot of hype with Bubba Chandler and the Pirates, and like this year, like it's kind of just fell off a little bit where he has a 4.05 ERA and 24 starts at AAA. But I would have loved to see him come up, but hey, you always got next year because who knows what happens with Ranger Suarez as he's going to be a free agent. So you got to have.
He's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone. I did correctly call that tonight. Like tonight. So the thing about Suarez was everybody was on Seattle today, and like CJ and I texted on this last night. I was like Phillies run line at 2-1, and it's because like we've seen this all through Suarez's career. That they give him the ball when they ask him to be the guy, he steps up and he's the guy. Like he's done it in the playoffs, he's done the regular season, but with the Wheeler blood clot, which is pretty scary. And Nola working his way back. Nola looked great, by the way, in his rehab starts. I think he just was like the pace of everything was just wild. And I was like, Rangers gonna dominate these dudes, and he did because he throws things that like they all want to swing.
Seattle coming off a weird game too, off that little league like classic stuff. You always got to factor in that kind of stuff. With it's like very weird sort of situations, and whereas the Mets had a day off, so they didn't necessarily have to think about that quite as much.
Yep. So I guess like the last thing that I would ask is, have you followed? Because CJ and I were talking about it. This was going to happen. Like the Mets also obviously made big moves to get like their closer and stuff like that. Had you followed anything about, some of these Syracuse boys that they ended up, they sent it up. They weren't all Syracuse boys. They were the Mets AA team too. I only know that they have the AAAs in Syracuse, but did the Mets are definitely in one of those like all in kind of things. Did they sort of overpay? Like, CJ knows these prospects pretty well too, but I don't know if you've been following any of them or what you thought about it, forget about the fact that the Mets are kind of struggling right now. What do you think about what they paid for Helsley?
I mean, I understand it, right? I understand why they did what they did. Like, you can never have too much firepower in the bullpen. I mean, look at what the Yankees did. They almost did like the similar thing where it was like, all right, we're giving up like everybody that's not named George Lombard and Spencer Jones, like to get like Jake Bird, David Bettner, and Doval. And I think for the Mets, you get Helsley. I think they got Rogers. They got Rogers on the trade deadline.
Rogers, and they got the other Soto, Gregory Soto.
Yeah, former Philly Gregory Soto.
Former Philly Gregory Soto. Who was part of that Vierling, the Vierling and Ton trade.
Yep, there you go. So I think the only nose prospect that went back that got traded was Drew Gilbert, who I think recently made his debut for the Giants. I think he just hit his first home run. I think he did
too. I took his Ks the other day too. So because he strikes a lot of these guys strike out a lot. So.
Which is also like a smart cap too for a lot of these hitters. Is just like they're going to be so overzealous, and a lot of these guys like have a lot of holes in their swing. Like you might as well take the shot on that. But I think for the Mets, I think they're to get those guys, I think you go all in. You look at the core that you have, you feel like, especially with the Braves, like kind of like falling like flat on their face and just being like injured and rotation just being just ravaged by injuries.
It's like a suicide. They had a suicide squad of guys. Cookie Carrasco was on that, and Eric Feedy. Like, come on, what are you doing?
Joey Wentz.
Joey Wentz looks good. Has looked good. Joey Wentz looked good. Career opener, Joey Wentz. So
the only thing I would add there too, just to add on to that point is, like the other guy that they gave up was Jesus Baez.
Yep.
He was playing in AA, but this is a team that already had Jet Williams in their pipeline as sort of their next guy as shortstop. And so, trades obviously have not worked out, and then some so far for Stearns, and he's coming actually under. Everybody's been saying Stearns, let Stearns cook, and everybody in Queens now is like, hey, did the kitchen catch on fire? Because it doesn't look like it looks like Stearns is just burning everything whenever he's cooking it. But I think that the fact that they already had the depth, especially at shortstop, kind of allowed him to still make that move. And now the thing is with the Mets prospects, especially with McLean and Sproat, like these are guys that they are actually now counting on to make a real impact for them come September and October. Like I think this was more of seen as sort of a luxury, but now, especially with the way that the starting pitching has gone and with Holmes really flaming out, which to be expected, he's a reliever turned starter. They really, I think you're going to talk about guys that are going to have to actually do something here in the next 6 weeks for a contending team. McLean and Sproat are going to be, they're going to be relied heavily on.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm excited. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm excited to see McLean's next start because the way he pitched in his debut, I think if you're a Mets fan,
it was great.
You couldn't ask for nothing better.
It was an injection that they sorely
He looked great. He looked great. His off speed stuff. That's how you beat that Mariners team. But that's why I like Rangers. Off speed that team. Josh Naylor's looking for a fastball every single time he's at the plate. If you throw him something that's 84, he has no idea what to do.
Same thing with Eugenio Suarez. Like, everything off speed. Like, you're going to do it. So if he can do that, then you're great.
I want to talk about a take that's aging well for us. Will Suarez? I don't think Suarez has like one home run and 20 Ks since he's joined that team. Javon, the last thing that like you are quite famous for coining the debut report. An award that has been when a player cashes in their first couple games. It's been won by Oswaldo Cabrera. It's been won by what's his name? He got hurt. He's on the Red Sox. Why am I blanking on his name? First baseman.
Tristan Casas.
Casas. Yeah.
Casas. It's been won a lot of times. Who is the next? I know we talked about it with September calls, but still give us an idea. Next debut report that you're telling us to go with for the guy later this week. I saw you got Cabello too today on a delayed debut report bet from you. But who are you kind of looking at that you're telling us that's the debut report? That's the guy. Give us one.
Trying to think debut. If Harry Ford comes up, that's the next guy I'm really like gunning for because I'm like, all right, like we know this Mariners team, like I said, their offense is so just like up and down. You don't know, like guys just strike out and I think he would be just such an upgrade over Mitch Garver. Like it wouldn't even be like funny. And like I said, Mariners Twitter does not like Mitch Garver for a variety.
He had a home run tonight.
He did, which I thought was funny.
Mitch Garver is not. He's like hilarious. He's like a beer league catcher. It's great.
He is. So I'm Harry Ford. If Harry Ford comes up, I'm already locking in the single, and I'm already locking in the 2 total bases. Like that's gonna be the move right when that happens.
I love it. CJ, do you have anything else that you wanted to ask Javon or no?
Any new dad moves? Any new dad moves this week for us, Javon? That you can
put him on the spot. You want to do any guest dad moves for us? Could be a recommendation on anything. It could be how to recover from being sick. It could be anything like that. Because while not a dad, you have have good dad advice and stuff.
I have, like I said, I'm not a dad, but I have a dog. So
that counts. Your dog dad.
Yeah, dog dad.
That's basically orientation to being a dad. Is having a dog. So
as I've heard, because dogs will run you up a wall depending on the day. Let me see. Being sick. I would say that's a good question. I don't know. I think being sick, just make sure, you're you have your own space. Like you just have your own area. So any dads out there that got a nice finished basement, like put your nice setup together and, you got your TV, you got your, Xbox, PlayStation, like as long as you got those things, you're pretty good.
There you go.
I think.
CJ, what do you got? I mean, you said you have a new dad move because you didn't.
My dad move is pretty simple this week. Don't fly United Airlines. It's my dad move. Don't fly United Airlines. And if said airline offers you a exchange for a 13+ hour delay, don't accept it. Make sure you always tweet at them, blow up their LinkedIn, blow up any sort of social platform you can, file a formal complaint, have ChatGPT write it for you. I don't care. But if they offer you some sort of like just half-ass, hey, here's a $100 credit, don't take it. So that's my message to the people. Don't fly United Airlines.
Mine would be tied to that as someone who traveled last week is get yourself a pair of the plug-in cheap headphones because all the ones on every single plane, they're not Bluetooth.
Nope.
So you can plug it in. I watched Whiplash, great movie, not my tempo.
Great movie.
Not my tempo. So Scott Rochelle made that same joke this morning when we did our show and I missed it right away. And he's like, you didn't watch that movie. But yeah, just buy a pair and bring them with you and keep a travel pair in your bag. It's pretty clutch in my opinion.
That's a good one. Cause when I just came off a vacation, I had these headphones on, but obviously I did not bring my charger. So on the flight, on the way home, I had to go buy a pair for like $30 because I didn't have my charger cord and I like kind of burnt like my batteries going down to Florida and Disney World. So yeah.
Javon, tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Again, appreciate y'all for having me on always to talk about the good old prospects. But yeah, Twitter at Jovan10. I think it's the same thing over on Blue Sky, and then obviously totalsportslive.com as well.
Awesome. Javon, you as always have been excellent. We've been waiting for you kind of actually bookended the summer on two extremely important shows for us. You had the draft show and then like all these dudes are all over the place and they're about to be relevant in 12 days. So for September call-ups, thanks again, man. Thanks for coming by.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate y'all.
Dude, that is, Javon's awesome. Like, I don't know how he knows all these dudes.
You know me in our text thread, every single time we're like, all right, who are we going to have as a guest this week? I'm like, can we bring back on Javon? Can we please talk prospects again? So yeah, this
we talked prospect for 40 minutes. It was effing great. Okay.
Baseball nerds out there, we're there for you.
We are. Go figure. Which is actually good to announce. We will starting in September. We will move to two shows. Well, we have two shows a week, but one of our shows will kind of unofficially be called Dad's Bet Baseball and Football and Other Sports. You still find us. We'll have some display name changes, but we will have one show that's going to be dedicated to NFL and one show that's going to be dedicated to baseball and probably hockey. I'm looking for CJ to tell me. Yep, he's nodding. Yes, we are going to.
We'll see. We'll see. It might be undefined, but we'll see.
Might be undefined, but we'll be moving into that. Again, a big thank you to our sponsor, HOF Bets. You can use the code DADS. And if you're watching right there, just QR code that. Highly recommend. Excellent research that we use for all our bets. You saw one earlier. If you just joined now, go to the beginning. You can see it. And use code DADS, 50% off. So
I'm pumped. By the way, this is still baseball. We will still be talking baseball on the show.
It's our main thing, but we're just going to we're going to put tape over it and some crayon and write in.
We'll still be talking baseball in the off season, all that good stuff. Don't worry. Like this is, we are not changing from Dad's Bet Baseball. We love to bet a lot of sports, and of course, we love to bet football, as everybody loves to bet football. And so I'm excited. I'm pumped to get to talk some NFL on here, but also, we're still going to be dedicating a lot of time, especially in the next 2 months, to baseball. Lot left to go.
Given I have texts from me to you saying, "Hey, I got us Christopher Sanchez 100-1 Cy Young tickets from December 27th of last year," I am sure that we will find something.
We will have winter meetings.
We will absolutely have a winter meeting episode. We should just go to, what is it, in Arizona? We should just go.
Is it? It was in Dallas. It was like a weird one last year.
Dallas, yeah.
I'm down to go to Arizona.
I would totally go. But dude, we're media now. We could just.
That's right. We'll just request the press pass.
Request a media pass. All right. So for CJ, who's at Dad's at Bet, for Spencer, our producer at Spencer_Ray, I'm Adam Rosenberg at Hey Rosenberg. You have been listening to Dad's Bet Baseball. CJ, what is the final word for today?
Not quite my tempo.